Here to discuss fourth quarter M&A activity is Hadley Mullin, Managing Director and Partner at TSG Consumer. Thanks for joining me, Hadley.
I'm happy to be here.
To start off with, there's a little bit of concern about going into the fourth quarter. Second quarter results weren't very good for retailers. Back to school also looks a little bit questionable. People are pessimistic about the holiday season. How do you think that is going to potentially affect deal activity going into the fourth quarter?
I do agree that I think the fourth quarter there are some signs that it could be soft. We're certainly seeing a lot of retailers contracting their inventory, which would certainly suggest that they're not anticipating traffic and buying to be quite as robust. How that will affect M&A activity is it means that retailers and even those businesses that are selling into retailers, those that are kind of reliant or in the market and hoping to consummate a transaction may have a softer Q4 than their budget calls for. And you know, when you're in a process and selling a company, the last thing in the world you want is for the company to miss numbers. So that could certainly slow some processes down or cause hiccups in the road, without a doubt.
Do you see a slow fourth quarter and then a robust first quarter, perhaps?
I think it's hard to predict what the new year will bring. I do think that for companies that sell into retailers, you are going to see a pickup. I know that for many of our companies, our POS, which is the sell-through at the department stores and the like, is actually quite strong. But the retailers are so cautious right now that they're not ordering at the same rate as they're selling the product out. Eventually, inventory levels will get low enough that they will have no choice but to just resume their order patterns.
There are some troubled large department store retailers in the landscape, and the specter of them perhaps going out of business, we don't quite know yet what the story will be. But how could this affect companies, vendors that do business with these retailers?
Definitely problematic for those that are selling into the likes of a JCPenney. We do not focus as much on value brands, so we are less concerned about the JCPenney situation. But for those brands that are mid-tier and below and have a sizable JCPenney business, they're surely nervous about future order volume from that customer.
Now, not all categories within retail consumer are probably going to suffer through the holiday. Are there some bright spots that we can look at? Will luxury hold up through the holiday season?
Our thesis has always been that premium priced products tend to be more resilient. And we also focus on those brands that really deliver a differentiated value proposition. There's an emotional connection with the consumer. They're hitting all their needs and they're delivering great value, and that doesn't mean by any stretch being the cheapest product available. Our thesis is that those brands will always prevail and gain share during these times.
And that was Hadley Mullin, Managing Director at TSG Consumer.